The fast and flashy battles of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero are an exciting spectacle, but being effective in them comes with a learning curve. If you're well versed in Sparking Zero's combat already, consider checking out our advanced tips guide. But if you're just getting started on your training arc or want to brush up on the fundamentals, IGN is here to get you up to speed on the basics. Your basic punches and kicks are called rush attacks. Most of the time, rush attacks are simple combinations that deal damage and add energy to your ki meter. Simply tap on the attack button and your fighter will pummel their opponent. Launch them, then smash them down to the ground. As you get more advanced, that launcher becomes a good opportunity for bigger attacks. But for now, it's a basic way to deal some damage. Sparking Zero's block button is bound to R1 and the right bumper on PlayStation and Xbox respectively. Blocking prevents incoming damage from rush attacks and decreases damage from energy-based attacks. It's a good go-to defensive technique for when an attack is inbound and you aren't confident that you can avoid it. If your opponent is hiding behind their block, you can break their defense by holding the melee attack button to charge a smash attack. This can be aimed with the left thumbstick to be up or down, or left untouched for the middle. As long as they don't aim a block in the same direction as your smash, it will stagger them out of their defense, and you can pour on the damage. The other key defensive ability is Perception. This is a bit more finesse-based than blocking, and comes at the expense of ki.
Take this seriously.
Hold the Perception button down and your character will focus on countering incoming rush attacks, knocking them back and giving you some breathing room. Just make sure that you activate it before the first blow lands. You won't be able to enter Perception if you are in the middle of being pummeled. If you have at least 2 stocks in your skill count, you can also use what's called Super Perception to protect yourself from incoming blast attacks. Hold the Perception button just like before, and your character will automatically deflect most standard, but not ultimate blasts. Ki is effectively your energy. It powers your high-speed dashes, ki blasts, and super attacks among other things. Ki also leaves you vulnerable to attacks when it's depleted, so you should look for opportunities to charge it by holding R2 or the right trigger on PlayStation or Xbox.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Like for example, after you knock down an opponent.
That's it. Time to get serious.
Many blast attacks, like the Kamehameha, require 3 bars of ki, so it's generally a good idea to try to keep your energy up at least that high. There are 2 basic ki attacks. Rapidly tapping triangle on PlayStation or Y on Xbox will launch rush ki attacks. These rapid-fire energy balls are good for chipping away at the other fighter's health, and are also great if you notice that your opponent likes to use Perception a lot. If you hold the button instead, you will charge up and launch a more powerful smash ki blast. These hit much harder and can stagger your opponent. If you look next to your ki meter, you'll spot the skill counter, which charges up over time and does several important things. With at least 1 stack, you can fully charge your ki to enter sparking mode. You can also activate certain abilities using your skill count, such as Goku's Solar Flare. You also need skill count charges to switch fighters in team battles, transform if your character has a transformation, and fuse if you've got 2 characters that can fuse.
It's over!
Throws are handy close-range techniques that ignore blocks entirely, letting you do some damage and get some space when your opponent is on the defensive. To execute a throw, you need to press the right bumper and X for Xbox or R1 and square on PlayStation, and be in semi-close proximity. To avoid an incoming grab, tap the block button when you see your opponent reach for you. This will slap away the grapple move and set you up for a counter. Iconic attacks like the Special Beam Cannon or Kamehameha are called blast attacks in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Every character will have a couple of blast attacks, and they should be a big part of your arsenal. A clean hit with a blast attack does a lot of damage, and will still do some substantial damage through blocks as well. Hold the charge key button and press your rush attack or key blast to activate the blast attack. You will need to have at least as many bars of ki as you have displayed under each move.
You ready? Here goes!
Holding the charge key button will also display your 2 skill moves, by default mapped to up and down on the D-pad.
Finish Buster!
Skill moves consume your skill counter and primarily activate defensive moves and buffs, like Goku's Kaioken or Vegeta's attack interrupting explosive wave. One easy to overlook feature is character customization. This lets you adjust things like accessories that appear on characters, emotes, and much more. It's also where you can equip ability items that buff a fighter's abilities and customize them to your playstyle.
My name is Goku and Earth is my home!
You can't use ability items in story mode, but you can take them into tournament mode or online battles. Access these options by navigating to the shop and customization section of the main menu. The shop is where you buy new ability items, fighters, costumes, and more.
Spending money always feels so good.
While the customize section brings up a list of your fighters for you on which you can apply these customizations. Once you've mastered these basics, you can bring your skills to the next level by practicing the advanced fighting techniques. You can find those and more in our all-killer, no-filler Dragon Ball Sparking Zero wiki. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.